Hello, welcome to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to use INPA and find out why my check engine light is on. Okay, so before I hook up INPA, let me just explain a little bit about the software. Both INPA and DIS can be used for the same. INPA is more or less the factory level software, whereas DIS is the dealer level software, the dealerships where they actually sold the car, service them and so on. INPA is a bit easier to use. It's a lot easier to actually get working on a PC. DIS, on the other hand, is a bit more tricky to get working. I prefer to work with INPA when it's smaller things like checking error codes, which we'll be doing today, but DIS has some functions that I really do appreciate, like being able to carry out a Vanos test, for instance. Now, before I actually hook up my computer to the car, I want to start it up and have it at somewhat operating temperature, and then we're going to check the error codes. Okay, so this is INPA. You can see here E46 including M3. This is an E46. Pretty easy. Now we're gonna select the engine because that's what the check engine light is for. And then we have the MS43, as this is the M54 engine. Okay, so we have error memory here. We just press F4 and then we read the error memory, F1. Let's see. Oh, that's an O2 sensor on bank 2. Okay, so now the engine is up to temperature 84 degrees Celsius. Oil temperature is also high enough, 68. So let's take a look at what the actual O2 sensors say. Okay, so what you want to see is the values go up and down, as we can see before the catalysts, they are going up and down. While here, both of them seem to be stuck. If we push the throttle a little bit, we should be able to see them regulate. Let's take a look. So far, so good. Yeah, they're both pretty slow, but look at that. After catalyst bang 2, that one's basically just stuck. So it could seem that indeed the O2 sensor have failed. Oh, there it comes. Okay, so it's super slow at regulating. Let's see what happens now. Yeah. Okay, so this is DIS, Diagnosis and Information System. Gonna hit Diagnosis. Gonna select the car. Here, go down here in the bottom. Click. But let's just go and check. Should the individual test be carried? Okay. Okay, so now it's actually carrying out a test on the DME. Then we just press next down here. Okay, to test it in this, we can go to function selection down here. Then we pick engine management, oxygen sensor control, oxygen sensor bank 2, and then we press test schedule down here. Then we press next. Start engine at run and idle speed. Okay, that's good. Already there. Let's see here. Let's press next. A rich mixture must be applied at the oxygen sensor after the catalytic converter during acceleration and partial load operation. The mixture should be lean during inertia fuel shut-off phase. This is checked in the next step. Let's see what happens. Run engine and idle. Yes, good. We press start here. Okay, if necessary, rev up several times until a speed of 6,000 RPM is reached. Does the displayed voltage of the oxygen sensor after the catalytic converter increase temporarily and then drop to 0 volts? If necessary, I don't know. I don't really want to rev it to 6,000 RPM at a standstill, but let's... Okay, it does drop to 0 volts, but then it just stays down there. Let's say, let's click yes, it actually does drop to 0 volts. Then what's next? Let's see. Okay, so much for that. No fault can be found in the component test group. Okay, I guess I'll have to, let's see, after repair of fusers. End of test module. Okay, let's do the same with the other one. Let's press function selection here. Then we take this one, press test schedule. Then we press, whoops. Hope you can see. Press next down here. Start engine, run. Yes, yes, cool. Let's go. Okay, let's stab the throttle and see what happens. Drops to 0 as it should. And rises quickly again. Not super high. I don't really know if that's an issue. I have to look into that. Okay, so I've been Googling O2 sensors and how they're supposed to behave. Now, the front sensors are supposed to be regulating, just like we saw, both in INPA and DIS, but the rear sensors are supposed to flatline. And now they actually both did flatline, but there's two problems. One is that it's supposed to be around 0.7 to 0.8 voltage flatline when idling. The other one is that we saw, at least for the Bank 2 rear sensor, that it was very slow at actually regulating. To actually be able to find out if indeed the cats are bad or the sensors are bad, the easiest thing to do would probably be just to switch around the O2 sensors and then see if the arrow follows the sensors or if the arrow follows the cats. I think I'm going to need a special tool for this. They are so stuck that like I removed the cross brace and just to get more room, and I can't get the correct wrench on it, but being it's so stuck, I'll end up rounding it off instead. This one here, it sat right there. That was pretty easy. You just kind of pull this through, put it on and turn it off. But this one, yeah, I'll need to get a special tool for that. So we're here, the Blue Church, only place to actually get some specialty tools at discount prices. Here in Scandinavia at least, or at least the best place. It's not professional grade, but it's good enough. There it is. And it's the only one left. Lucky me. About 80 euros poorer. Not just because of this socket set, but also for the clay loop. Let's see what we've got. It's gotta be this one, hopefully. Let's see. No, I don't think this is going to work either. Let's just maybe just okay, and then this will have to do. Let's see. Okay, so I did actually manage to break it loose with this contraption straight out of the hill. This one here, just sliding it over and then using a breaker bar. What an absolute shit show. But I don't know, they both look terrible, honestly. The one that's defective, or at least very slow at reacting, is, whoops, let's see here, is a bit worse, but none of them are actually good. I'll try switching them around and see what happens. So they're switched now. So now we should be able to test it. Just get the car on the ground. And start it up. So far, so good. Okay, let's try out. First we pick function selection here. I don't know, was it complete vehicle? Let's check. Can't really remember. My memory absolutely sucks. This is part of the not so great thing about DIS is that it's very slow. Engine management, MS43. Okay, oxygen sensor control, bank 1 after cat. Then we press test schedule down here. Short test was carried out. And we press here, I believe. Start engine, run at idle speed. Oh. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Because the coolant temperature is too low, this is automatically increasing the RPMs to 1600 RPMs. Hold on. Okay, now it reached the operating temperature. For some reason the RPMs are uneven. Let's see what happens if we press next here. Will they stabilize? Oh, hasn't yet reached temperature. Run engine at idle speed. Okay. Start. Okay, it's leaning out, it seems. Now it's richening the mixture. Okay. Right now it appears to be working. Let's see if I press the throttle a little bit. Let's try again. Now it seems this one is kinda stuck. Okay, so now we're gonna test the one that's supposedly okay. Choose this one, press test schedule, oxygen sensor bank 2 after cat. Now I have reversed the sensors as you saw, so this one should be a bit quicker to regulate, and hopefully it won't jump up and down so much when I keep a steady RPM of, for instance, 2000 RPMs. Let's see what happens here. Start the blah blah blah. Yeah, sure. Press start here. Okay. Let's stab the throttle a bit with. Look at me MacGyvering the shit out of this. Drops. It appears that they didn't really survive the disassembly. Okay, it's rising. Let's just stab the throttle again with this MacGyver contraption here. Happens, drops. Great, none of the sensors actually work. Let's try and hit 2000 RPM, see what happens. Keeps a steady voltage, much more steady than the other one. Okay. Okay, what did we just see there? It seems as if the other oxygen sensor didn't actually survive the switchover, but also we can see that the catalysts are beginning to fail, at least. When I rev the engine to 2000 RPM, it's supposed to be steady, and it is steady. But then when I let it idle, it's supposed to be around 0.0, 0.8 or so, and it stays around 0.5, meaning that the cats are very tired. They're not as efficient as they should be. And now also both sensors are kind of stuck down there at 0.1 voltage or so before slowly rising. I'm honestly not sure what it all means at this stage, other than cats are tired. O2 sensors are definitely tired as well. They look like shit. It didn't survive somehow being changed over, the one that was supposed to be good. I have received the parts now. 4 sensors. I'll be sure to put a link in the description to the sensors I used. They were like 50 euros each, or what is equivalent to $50. That's important because it's by far the cheapest place I could find real Bosch oxygen sensors. Also, this came with it. I don't know if it's actually a 150 euro gift card to Amazon, but in case it actually is, then it's it's an even better deal. But I don't know, I'm not expecting this to actually work, but yeah, I'll find out later. One issue though is that the old O2 sensor here, let me see if I can get it to focus there, it stripped the frets right out here in the last part. So I'll have to somehow make a tab to repair the frets. Now you can actually, if you have something with the correct frets, you can actually cut a little groove in it and then use it as a homemade tab. It won't be as good as a real tab, but let's see if we can fix it without buying any tools first, just using this. Alright, let's see what this one says. Go to test schedule. This is the bank 1 sensor, sensor 2, the after catalytic converter. Let's see, test schedule, press next, start engine, run at idle speed, yes. Let's see. Okay, bank 1. This one is steady as is right now. Let's stab the throttle, see what happens. Raises, lowers, and quickly regulates. Okay, that's a definite improvement over the previous sensor that was very slow at regulating. Raises, lowers. Okay. This one is good. I can see that Maybe the catalyst 1 is a little bit low in efficiency, but at least the sensor work. Now let's try the second one. Start. Let's see, this one is a little bit higher. Let's stab the throttle. Rises as it should, drops as it should, and then regulates very quickly. Rises as it should, drops as it should, and regulates very fast. Okay, this catalyst does seem to give off a weird reading. Let's do the test where we apply 2000 RPM, and then the voltage should not fluctuate. It doesn't. Wow, that's nice. Okay, so what did we learn? What did I learn? Well, first off, the front sensors were still functioning properly. They are supposed to regulate. You probably know that. Everyone knows that. Probably a lot of people also know that the after CAT sensors, the CAT efficiency sensors, those aren't supposed to regulate. Those are supposed to stay flat. Where I had a lot of trouble finding info was when it does, then if you stab the throttle, then you'll have it peak a little and then bottom out at 0.1 voltage or so. What I couldn't really find out was how long does it take for it to actually regulate back up again to a fixed voltage of, say, in this case 0.6 to 0.7 voltage. Well, the old sensors, they were kind of just stuck in the lower range for a lot of time before actually regulating up back again, and it doesn't appear to actually be the CATs. It does appear to just have been the sensors. Also, I think I've learned that the CATs are still functioning, but they are not as efficient as they used to, being that a healthy CAT would display a voltage of 0.7 to 0.8, whereas both my CATs are actually in the range of 0.6 to 0.0 voltage. So CATs are a little bit worn, and sensors are now functioning probably all 4 of them. It doesn't really bother me that much that the CATs are worn though. One thing is, well, I hope it at least be able to pass emissions tests. But for the next project, I actually have some headers with external CATs I'm going to install. And then we'll do a 0 to 60, and maybe I'll even weigh them, see if there's any weight difference between the old system and the new system, and just in general the install and all. But that's for a separate video. One thing I did notice though is that when I pressed on the Schrader valve right here, after having the car sit for 24 hours or so between the videos, there were no fuel pressure on the rail. I'm pretty sure that there is supposed to be just a little bit of pressure left. So either we have some injectors slowly leaking into the cylinders, or for in one way or another that I'm not sure of right now, we also it can leak backwards. That will probably that'll be a different video as well, testing out the fuel pressure and how it acts. But for today, I just want to say that the actual oxygen sensor tests are now, in my opinion, complete. A big thank you for watching this. If you found it in any way helpful, please hit that like button or subscribe or leave a comment or anything. And if you have anything else you'd like me to test, if you have any questions in general, just hit me up, So yeah, thank you for watching.